Hi! We're here and we're ready to go over some subclasses from Reddit. I grabbed today, so we got a lot of stuff to look at here. For the purposes of today, I grabbed all subclasses. And Jeremy, we're probably going to talk about this off the stream, but in the future, I felt like it would be nice to just divide everything up by category. So there's tons of magic items and spells and stuff on there too. But I feel like I just kind of like evaluating one type of thing. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, 100%. Cool. I like going through like a grouping as like okay. I'm just bezubbling, but yeah.
No, but I'm on the same page. So that's why I get all subclasses. So maybe someday I'll go through and grab all the cool magic items that people posted in there the past month and stuff like that. But for now, we got these. The first one that I was really, and this is probably the one that
before you dive into it, for those who are just tuning in,
this is a new clip.
It's clipped separately. This is from the UnearthedArcana subreddit. That's r/UnearthedArcana on reddit.com. It's a huge community of homebrewers who create cool homebrew content. One of the things I really love about this subreddit is everything looks really good.
Yeah.
I like when people really take the time to like polish up their stuff. This is really classy looking.
It's
so I'm
gorgeous.
excited to see how it actually is.
That's always can it pay off is the beautiful appearance that it has in the bottom there. That great artwork that someone posted.
Yeah, and this first one we're going to be doing is a Barbarian Primal Path by user laserllama.
Laserllama made this one.
Artist credit Todd Lockwood from Spine of the World, which I don't know. That is probably a Dungeons and Dragons book. I hope they got permission to use the art they used. All right, Pete, let's start this off. You want to talk about the Path of the Brood?
Absolutely. This is a sort of a pugilist like brawler barbarian, which this is the one of the ones I picked out that I personally am the most excited for, because I've really wanted this archetype for a long time and for it to be cool. And I think I've talked about it actually on this show, that I really want to just play a bare knuckle boxer type character. Let's, without further ado, let's read the Path of the Brute. While most barbarians hail from the wild places of the world, you found your rage in the underbelly of civilization. Your abilities come from a combination of determination, grit, and street smarts. Brawlers like you have existed as long as cities have been around, and you all have one thing in common: you prefer to settle things with your fists. Straight to the point. I think it works. I like the association with "you're a civilization barbarian." I think works for me on that. Jeremy, what do you think?
It's interesting, right? Because there's the one side where it's like, well, I want to play the Path of the Brute, but why are you telling me I'm from a city? And there's like that side of things. I don't mean to make a goof of that, but there's that like legitimate argument. And then there's also, I really wanted to hone in on this specific flavor. So, I mean, I think it could be really cool in as part of like a compilation of city-focused, urban-focused stuff. Not a lot of adventure happens in cities in 5e, in my experience, or in Dungeons & Dragons, in my experience. So. Yeah. Cities are where adventurers go to die. So it's interesting. Let's start looking at these features, Pete. Have you read these already?
I read like the first on all of these. I essentially read like the first feature. I didn't want to completely spoil it, but just to make sure it was like of a quality that was like comprehensible. Which all of these are pretty uploaded, right. So all of them are pretty much. But.
All right, so at third level, they're going to get the feature Unarmed and Dangerous. All right, it's a good pun. Starting when you take this path at third level, your time spent in the seedy underbelly of civilization has honed your body into a deadly weapon. Your unarmed strikes count as natural weapons, dealing bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus your strength modifier. If you strike with 2 free hands, the d6s become a d8. Okay, so it's like versatile, sure.
Yep.
Your time fighting and carousing in the sleazy places of the world has honed your rage. While raging, you gain the following benefits. You have your rage damage bonus to the attack rolls in addition to the damage roll of your unarmed strikes. Oh, all right, so just more accurate. When you deal damage to a creature with a two-handed unarmed strike, you can use your bonus action to automatically grapple the creature as long as you can grapple a creature of its size. You can only grapple one creature at a time in this way. And when you deal damage with an unarmed strike to a creature that you are currently grappling, you deal an additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage to the target. This damage increases to 2d6 at 10th level.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
this is the core feature here, and this is the feature I already read, and this is a little bit stacked, and I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I'm
not
trying to think.
it doesn't destroy the game. It's just a little too strong.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of where this falls in comparison to like what I think is probably the most powerful barbarian in terms of like attacking, because that's what this does. Right? This is an attacking barbarian. And
Which is
the classic is the berserker.
Yeah, the extra bonus action attack. How does
But
this stack up?
I want to even actually compare it to like the Battle Rager instead, because the Battle Rager doesn't have the exhaustion asset and still has a D6 extra attack while it's raging. So like, where does it stand? I don't know. What is this? You get an
extra.
Anything...
You get an extra +2 to hit with punches for start. Assuming when you take it, and that's significant.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't get extra attacks though. You're still the 2 punch is being represented by the D8 instead of 2.
Yeah, and you're not wielding a shield in that case, so you are taking a hit for your weapon. You're using a less effective weapon of your fist than, say, the great axe or the sword and board that most barbarians would want to have.
Yeah, the real issue with this for me comes in the grapple.
The auto grapple.
Yeah, that I.
It's just. Yeah, the problem again, like we've talked about grappling a lot. It's like people like to design with grappling because it's a fun archetype, and you want to be the person that grapples. But the mechanics of grappling in 5th edition are poor, so it's hard to make something that uses those that feels good and it is kind of fair.
And actually, funny, we got our Battle Rager in the chat from a game I'm currently running, Freyno.
Oh, hey man, what's going on?
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is different enough from the monk, kind of contrary to what V-Bunny is saying there. I think this is different from the monk. You do basically just one attack with this, rather than doing a whole bunch of attacks, which is the core crux of the monk. So I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily unbalanced. Oh God, but I feel like
I think it's a little
grappling could be a problem.
It's a little bit on the dangerous side, but it's not bad. I think this is actually overall. I think that's a pretty well put together feature.
Yeah, I will say I'm with Frosty Pirate in the chat. Right, saying, "What is this two-handed strike?" Right, that's a little weird. The idea of like, I'm gonna be versatile and attack with 2 hands. It's just weird to me.
It made sense. I'm imagining it as like, for example, like the 2-handed overhand, like you interlock your fingers and hang it down. Like that's a move, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Frosty was saying just swing with your offhand, man. You can't. In 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, using the 2-weapon fighting mechanics, you can't actually do 2 punches in a round. They're not light weapons, so you can't do that. It's really dumb. But yeah, I'm not sold on this yet, but I'm interested in seeing what else we got here. Let's see what we got.
The Wrong Crowd is the next feature. I haven't read this one yet. Also at 3rd level, drinking, causing trouble, gambling, and other types of tasteless hedonism count as light activity for you. When you take a long rest, as long as you sleep for 4 hours, you can spend the remaining duration of your rest carousing. You gain the full benefits of your long rest as long as you don't take any damage.
All right, this is very funny.
I love that. I don't know if it's good design, but I absolutely adore it.
That is pretty fucking good.
And now, like, if we were questioning the decision to like include the "you're from the streets" thing in the beginning, I think this is enough to justify it for me. Like, it's really funny. I don't really even have... Jeremy, do you have anything to say about that?
I don't even know where to begin to adjust, because that's just so... Like, if we go to our rubric, which we use this 5-point rubric to determine, to rate any sort of content at 5e, give us an idea of where it should stand in terms of 5 out of 5 of professional published content, or 2 out of 5, it's a cool concept, but it needs a lot of work. This is just so out of left field, I don't even know how to begin evaluating this. This totally defies conventions of design. Just what? I just don't even know how to begin to look at that. It's neat.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to add or take away points. Actually, I'm adding and taking away a bunch of points at the same time. And it's neutralizing to 0.
Let's jump on the 6th level feature, Concussive Blows. At 6th level, your fists rival the most famous of masterwork weapons. Oh, wow. Your unarmed strikes count as magical for the sake of overcoming resistances.
Cool.
Also,
it
when you
needed
hit
to.
a creature, yeah, I need that. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, instead of dealing damage, you can instead force that creature to make a Constitution saving throw. The DC equals 8 plus your frequency bonus plus your strength modifier. On a failure, the creature is stunned until the beginning of your next turn.
Uh-oh.
You may use the ability number of times equal to your Constitution modifier, regaining all uses when you finish a long rest. I don't like this. And the reason I don't like it is...
It's just kind of Stunning Strike.
Yeah, what V-Money was saying in chat, this is just a rip of Stunning Strike, which is the Monk level 5 feature. Or it might even be level 6. So, like, this is definitely too close to what we see on the Monk, which is a fairly similar punching design.
Unarmed and dangerous,
dislike it.
I didn't feel that way about, but this definitely...
So it plays very
definitely
differently.
Creeps.
Yeah. Let's talk about Iron Grip, Pete. You want to take a look at that, boy?
Yeah. Starting at 10th level, once you have a hold of something, it is near impossible for it to escape. Whenever you make a strength athletics check, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10, and you count as one size larger for the purposes of grappling.
Fuck this. I hate this subclass. It's terrible.
Yeah,
No. I'm sorry. I've just got over ranting about how much I dislike that mechanic on the new Bard from Theros.
I like you count as one size larger for the purposes of grappling, but like making it more difficult to get out of grapples is
cancer. This is cancer
dangerous
for the game.
Yeah, this is that's a little bit harsh.
Dude,
the issue
you can't. Creatures can never escape your grapple. Your minimum is like a 20.
But again, I don't know. It's just like it's because grappling's bad.
Horrific.
And then 14th level, let's look at Brutish Determination. At 14th level, your toughness allows you to shrug off assaults that would devastate others. When you make a saving throw, roll 1d6 and add the die to your saving throw total. This bonus also applies to death saving throws. If you roll above a 20 on a death saving throw with this bonus, it has the same effect as rolling a natural 20. At the beginning of each of your turns in combat, while you are raging, you gain temporary hit points equal to 5, plus your Constitution modifier minimum of 1. There's a lot going on this. I actually really like that 1d6 on the death saving throw thing.
This is funky because I feel like I like this feature, right? I actually like this ability.
Yeah.
But a lot of monks, or not monks, barbarians, their 14th level feature, what it does for them is it gives them damage, right? It gives you some kind of a feature to help you do a little bit more damage, right? To help keep up on the damage scale with like a fighter or something like that. And because this doesn't have a damaging feature at 14th level, doesn't really have one at 10, doesn't have one at 6, it just has the, if you're grappling a creature, you can deal some extra damage to it when you hit it at 3rd level. If you're not grappling a creature, I could see this really, really sucking and feeling bad just in terms of not doing any damage as you rank up. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure.
I mean,
it needs something somewhere.
And I don't think they're...
Well, it has that extra 2d6 thing that it gets at 10th level.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's intended to just be its scaling damage feature and that's all it needs, but it might need more. Well, I don't know. Like, your fists are... But the thing is you're also missing out inherently by being this on the ability to wield a rad great axe as a barbarian.
I mean, you're going to have 2 attacks, right? Because you only
never going to get a +3 weapon,
Yeah, well, you only get 2 attacks as a monk anyway, right? As a barbarian. So you're doing 2 attacks that hit for a d8 plus maybe 2d6, maybe. I don't know. I can feel it's like starting to feel sad at some point. Especially if you're not able to grapple.
No, it definitely needs some.
But I guess that's you count as one size larger.
Yeah, Vivon, you're saying it steps on the toes of the zealot with that feature. It doesn't. You can't just like. It's not like an ability like the ability to not go down should be something that's exclusive for the Zealot. Like, that's just a concept that I think is pretty inherent to the Barbarian, which is the ability to survive. And I think this does it in a unique enough way where it really this really hit the trope for me of, like, I get knocked down, but I get up again, like, you know, the tough fighter, the boxer that gets knocked down and then keeps standing back up because he's got the grit. That really hits that for me. The temporary hit points thing is, you know, whatevs.
I will say it is a little funky that they both have this feature at 14th level. I would have actually liked to see that part earlier. Like, we could have seen that starting at 10th level, and then actually had a proper 14th level damage up that a lot of these other barbarians get. Or maybe just something more engaging. I guess that's the big thing I'm looking at here, right? The whole point we're going for is grappling. But I'm not seeing any exciting new ways to actually grapple, right? There's no, while you're grappling, you can do this cool maneuver. Or while you're grappling, you can do this thing to the monster that you're grappling. Instead, it's just use the grapple mechanics, which are, frankly, if you're really interested in grappling from a flavor perspective, wildly unfulfilling in 5e. So, I don't know. I'm not... It looks great. Like, this is a beautiful looking piece here. Like,
yeah. Let's rubric it lightning round, Jeremy. Flavor,
Space.
yes.
Yeah.
I give it flavor. Space, I'd give it that too.
Yeah, I think there's room for this in 5th edition. Dragons. At least from a concept.
The space point, like, I wanted this before it came out.
But the problem is, does it fill a niche mechanically that doesn't already exist somewhere else?
Yeah, you can't play an effective strength puncher to me.
I mean,
like, I find that playing a strength monk is extremely unsatisfying, and that's an archetype that I really want to play.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's talk about, like, I don't know, balance. Is it balanced? No way. This is not even close.
It is not balanced. Is the design elegant? I mean, like...
Yeah, I think it is.
It has the wrong crowd. It has the wrong crowd. The most brilliant piece of design I've ever seen in 5th edition.
That is very fun. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like in here that's particularly poorly designed. Like, everything here is by convention. Like,
the design isn't inspired, but I think it's fine. So I would almost no. I think there are some huge issues with this class that would really disrupt gameplay and would frustrate at least the dungeon master, but potentially other players even. Especially, like, what's funny is the wrong crowd, which is very funny to read and cool conceptually. Man, how, like, all right, every time we rest in a town now, I get to do 4 hours of my character role-playing while you all don't get to participate at all. Right? Like, I mean, I interpreted that very much as using the bad table from the bad table, not even from Xanathar's Guide. I was thinking the one from the DMG, which is just like roll a D8, roll like a D8, and you get one of these things that happens.
Yeah,
which I was fine with it at that.
Well, either way, for whether that be the reason or perhaps the extra grappling being frustrating, I think this would have some issues from playability. Oh,
playability for sure is not a point. I'm with you on that.
So, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, give it a 3.
Making progress. Definitely making progress.
Pretty
on the
good.
Way to being good content, but it needs some tweaks.
And
I mean, great content.
Already great content before reading it. Just looking at this thing.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Great. Want to do the next one?
Yeah, let's leave this next.